Welcome back to our spring playoff coverage. The teams are getting ready for round 2 between Team Liquid and Counterlogic Gaming. And I have to say, guys, I appreciated CLG's team strategy, but they need to clean up those individual misplays.
Yeah, honestly, it was unfortunate seeing mostly Link's big misplays. Again, we talked about the mechanical mistakes, the decision-making mistakes. I actually don't want to see CLG change almost anything about their strategies. If they can get the same champions, if they can get the same comps, I think CLG can win Game 2 very easily. It's just a matter of executing properly. And I want to know if they have the faith to do so.
I think they're going to have to change a little bit in champion select, though, because of this reason that they have to now react to the Sejuani and the Urgot that were shown by Team Liquid not banned away, and they swap sides now. So Team Liquid showed more things that were threatening than the Vladimir and the Twisted Fate, because Link did not look 100% confident on that champion. There's going to be some more bans and some more champions left up here, and Team Liquid will have the opportunity to first pick a Lulu and play around Piglet.
It's true, but then I actually think there's a decent chance that red side's actually more advantageous here when you know, okay, Vlad's important on the table, Urgot's important on the table, Sejuani's important on the table.
Do you leave them all
Lulu's? I don't know, but I think there are good ways to have a good red side here where, look, you get one, we get two, and you actually come out ahead. It's possible. I don't know if they'll do it.
Yeah, pick ban becomes a lot more interesting when there are so many
Once you learn more,
valuable picks. Yeah. Absolutely. So when we talk about Team Liquid picking their composition, I think the big thing for them, though, is fine, lock in the composition you want, but they need to find a way to put themselves in a position of victory as opposed to waiting for CLG to make a mistake.
Yeah, they got put behind by CLG. Phoenix had a pretty good early game. He beat up Link a little bit, but some kills went back and forth. But ultimately, we came to a mid game where Counterlogic Gaming had the lead. They started split pushing, and they didn't let up. There was no way in for Liquid unless CLG allowed it when they overdove. I want to see if Liquid can manufacture their own comebacks or just manufacture their own early game lead. Good on them to capitalize on mistakes, and that is a mark of a good team. Props to Liquid. They deserved that win, of course. But without unforced errors, can Liquid get back in? And that's, I think, a true test for these guys.
Well, and earlier in the broadcast, we talked a little bit about Quas and his versatility in champion pool and his ability to carry the team if they allow him to do so. He did just that here. And I would like to see him, I think, again, on something that can carry as opposed to a super supportive role.
I absolutely agree. In the pregame, I said he played 3 Kennen games. I want to see more Kennen. Similar champion pick, Rumble. A big team-fighting mage, AoE, a supplemental damage dealer, because Quas is very good. I think he's top 3 NALCS top laners right now, right behind Zion Spartan. Had his impact in that game. Get another damage dealers. That was awesome.
Yeah, Quas's champion pick pretty much defines the strategy that Team Liquid's going to go for that in that game.
Yes, I agree with you completely.
Now, Zyrene, you were talking about how important champion select is going to be. Knowing that the Vladimir can now go top lane for CLG, what does that mean for Quas? Because the Rumble didn't seem to be able to stack up against it 1v1 as we saw in the top lane, midway through the game.
You can first pick and give it to Phoenix.
That's true. Yeah, also keep in mind, he came into this matchup, he was part of a 2-on-2 and Vlad was in a 1-on-1, so Quas came into it at a disadvantage in CS and experience. Now, CLG are better at playing lane swaps. This might happen every single time. I don't know, we'll have to see, but Quas certainly managed to come back from it and did amazing, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, and his champion pool is really wide, and I don't actually know the full extent of it at this point, and I'm sure nobody does. He might have a counter to it somewhere in the works. Don't know how Quas plays in solo queue. He plays the Swain, right? Maybe that's the counter.
Well, we're about to find out because we're going to send it over to the guys at the caster desk for the play-by-play of Game 2.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And I think they're right about Quas. He has a huge champion pool. Might even be the guy that can do an A to Z the fastest if you did it on solo queue because of his versatility of champion.
Yeah, the pick and ban is going to be interesting. I know that the Lulu for Quas is something that they love having. It was actually banned by Team Liquid last game because they didn't have first pick. I think the bans definitely get changed around. I know those guys were discussing a lot of different variabilities because there are so many variations to the champ select. Since Game 1 was somewhat abnormal and unexpected, Game 1 often is about feeling your opponent out. Game 2 is game time.
And Team Liquid will be blue side for those even games that come out of this best-of-5 series.
So, even though Link was 1-7 on Twisted Fate, or 1-8 on Twisted Fate, it draws a ban from Team Liquid. Because the early game, mid-game map pressure that was creating, and the difficulty that Team Liquid had dealing with the 1-3-1, they don't want to do again.
Right.
So they're still banning away Link's Twisted Fate.
Might also spell an interesting pick here for Keen. Make sure that mid lane's a little bit safer. He definitely got repeated ganks after that flash went down in the early game. Morgana will go out again from CLG. 2 games in a row now each side for them to ban that out.
Yeah, real fear of the Morg. Morgana is very good at stopping picks, which is CLG's main way of creating action in the early game. Also, if they're relying on the support Nautilus pick, Morg's pretty good against it. Interesting to see it so heavily banned, though.
Another damaged jungler pointed at Xmithy. Still has that chance at least. And once again here, Team Liquid riding some good momentum coming out of Game 1. Feels like they have Counter Logic Gaming's number here. And the Urgot gets banned out as well. So CLG, while banning things out that are being used to good effect, still may be losing a few with these.
All the prep in the world, and you can see that there's still some Game 1 prep left over. The Vi Callista bans remaining the same from Team Liquid.
Yeah.
Morgana ban remaining the same from CLG. And the first perk priority at this point, since there's not enough bans to deny everything they want, will become somewhat of a trade. I think some of the champions they're trading could be Lulu for Sejuani or Sejuani for Lulu. Zed is also a very important pick for Phoenix. It's stuff he's had huge success on. Yeah, maybe they trade Lulu for Sejuani or the other way around. They're giving Team Liquid the choice.
Gragas is left open from last game. It's one of the only
That
things
was
that
a
made
ban
it through.
by CLG, but I think it's the Lulu.
Yeah, if Lulu does get locked in, they say, oh, Gragas? Nah, we'll party later. Lulu gets locked in, it's all about the glitter. First one, that could very well be Quas's, Phoenix, or a special. A little bit of flex there.
It could be any of the three, but
Yeah.
I think it's Quas, straight away. It relies upon protecting Piglet. They know if Piglet has the upper hand mentally against his opponent, he'll take him down. You give someone's Lulu, you're tipping the scales in Piglet's favor.
Zion Spartan, does he go back to the Riven? I haven't seen that since pretty much Coast and before days. The Jax was something that they brought out last week, week 9, with the Alistar for Aphromu. Not to great effect, unfortunately. They are now in this position.
Yeah, they better take Sejuani. Otherwise, they could be giving way too much back to Team Liquid.
Really one they're only thinking about right now is that first pick. It goes over to Vladimir. Vlad Sej is what they will be picking up this game.
Well, they already know most likely what Quas will be playing. Zion Spartan is comfortable in that matchup if he has to play against it, so it's okay to show the Vladimir very early once again. And the Sejuani, very critical that they picked that away from I Will Dominate. He was on a 3-0 streak on Sej.
He does have his Gragas, though. Gragas ult would be nice to break out that Sej ult if they go hard on it. More disengage even as Xpecial may pick up Janna there, so that could be the idea.
Yep.
A lot of safety in this team composition while adding a little bit of power to their abilities as well. Hopefully they can still get a lock on one of their targets because they're going to be flying every which way once the fight starts. Maybe go to the Nunu, something that Dominate relies on quite heavily.
I think that they're going to be protecting the Piglet this game.
Could be.
Just a hunch. 3 picks completely devoted to that AD carry pick.
Did it take them this long?
Hey, it's actually, when they've been able to pull together Lulu and Nunu on the same team, they've been highly successful. They did it in week 1 actually with Lulu mid and then our top laner. That's when Keith looked so amazing on Kog'Maw.
Yeah.
They did Lulu top, Nunu against Coast in week 8, crushed. There were 9 kills on Piglet's Vayne. They also get to see the majority of CLG's team composition when they're picking their AD carry, whether it be Jinx, Kog'Maw, or Vayne, or even Lucian in that case.
Kog'Maw would be awesome.
Especially against Sejuani Vladimir.
Yeah.
It's a lot of health stacking you're going to get there.
We will have to see. We heard Double F recently saying didn't like Vayne because of the way the meta was. Well, now that it's switched and there's a lot of tanks out there, Vayne may be something we see in this game. It's going to be Lucian this time along with the Nautilus, adding quite a bit of peel in there for the AD carry and assistance to start off these fights with the Sejuani ult. So both teams rounding out great so far here as we're on pick 4 and 5 for Team Liquid.
Yeah. CLG very committed with their strong front line here. They really like the support Nautilus here. Same bottom lane they picked in game 1. It was winning in CS both at 10 and 20 minutes, even though it was a lane swap situation. CLG did not do the lane swap wrong in that game. Their mistakes were very identifiable towards the mid and late end of that game.
Right.
So not much is changing on CLG's overall strategy. The only difference from last game is the jungler swap out from Lee to Sejuani and the fact that Twisted Fate is banned. But they'll get to counterpick that last mid laner based on what Team Liquid does here.
Is it the double AD composition coming out It could be the Kog'Maw lock, and it will be for Piglet. Xpecial is going to lock in the Corki for Phoenix, and they are going to take, or maybe the other way around. I'm thinking it's going to be the Cog
It's gonna be
at
Phoenix
80
mid.
carry.
Yep.
Yeah, Phoenix Corki.
I like it. That's very similar. That's the Juggermaw that people talk about, making Kog'Maw the tank and then also having nice ranged pushing damage threat from the mid lane. Sometimes that is Ezreal in the LCK, but Corki fits that role pretty well too. Phoenix as well pretty much plays everything. You try scouting that guy's solo queue account. He's got wins on every champion, it feels like.
You can
2-0
almost
on
know
Vlad.
if you watch what FLICKR plays. It gives you an inkling. You're almost on the right track. Piglet now, this is also Jack going to add pressure onto him. Throughout all this, people expecting him to do well. They had a good game there. Doesn't mean everything is amazing, but they are going to actually rely on him a little bit more this game.
Yeah, the mindset is there. I honestly feel like when Quas has Lulu, that entire Team Liquid team is comfortable. It's the recovery from potential errors. Oh, man.
Oh, man, indeed.
That's a Karthus. That is not what I expected.
That's quite a bit of ability power
At all.
in this team.
So that
Everybody's switching things up for quarterfinals
yeah,
now.
Absolutely. That's another unique pick for Link this split. So much for sticking with what got you here. Throw it all out the window. play Karthus and Vladimir.
Why do the interview?
All right, so CLG has a ton of AoE damage, which is actually really good at stopping death balls, which is basically what Team Liquid has put together here. So in that sense, I like it, but it just feels really scary to me, because if they start falling behind, that's a lot of two-shottable targets there. I think this will end up being a very snowbally game, Riv, based on these team comps.
I am liking it. Counterlogic Gaming is no stranger to the AAD comp. It's where Link has had his strongest play, so they need to know it. Even if they take down one of those DPS 80 carries in the fight, it may not mean the fight is won. A good hug from the coaches, and once again, they are ready to get into the game. I'm sure the pressure's building there, but you still got to hug it out.
Yeah, I mean, if CLG gets a fight in this game where Karthus is in the middle of the team and Vladimir ulted them, everybody will die.
Picture perfect. Keep those Twitter votes coming our way as well. Send hashtag TLWin or hashtag CLGWin to @LOL Esports. The vote was close last game, just like the game itself, until Team Liquid was able to find a way to put the thorn in the side of Counterlogic Gaming. We'll see if they have found a way to remedy that. On to Game 2 here in our best of 5 of our first quarterfinal. It's now Counterlogic Gaming on the red side, and Team Liquid sporting from the blue.
And how are these teams feeling coming into Game 2? Because it has been such a tumultuous season for Team Liquid, as well as a very poor ending to the year for CLG. They're now tracking a 3-game losing streak, if you count the tiebreaker game and the one at Team Liquid, as well as against this Team Liquid organization, a 6-game losing streak against these players. They need to turn this around, and a very interesting level 1 here. CLG, like I said, always loves to split the map, somewhat predictable in where they will invade for their level 1s. They just go and get those wards in, but the lane approach from Team Liquid guarantees that they actually avoid CLG, since CLG always invades enemy jungle and gets Team Liquid some deep wards of their own.
I like the mid ward that CLG places on this as well.
They got to get out of here, though.
Ooh.
Whoa, 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 why would you not just recall? Piglet, he's got to run a real long ways.
Flap your wings! Fly away! Good thing he's next to
Alright.
Xpecial for this.
Yeah, Xpecial skills up his tornado there.
Yeah.
Makes the rundown
A
impossible.
little bit harder. They're safe. Quas also squeaked his way out. So they get the wards they want. Counterlogic Gaming is on a mission right now as well. So nobody's really towards any of the lanes. Both 80 carries are seen mid.
So we said this was double AD, Riv. It might not be double AD.
Uh-oh.
We saw Xiao Xiao run Trinity Force, Luden's Echo, Corki. Well, Phoenix has Magic Pen Glyphs right now on Corki.
He does.
Corki does a lot of magic damage, even if you do a normal AD build. I would not be too surprised to see Luden's Echo either first or second item out of Phoenix in the mid lane.
Interesting play for him. He might take CLG by surprise with that. They may be just as well ready for it in the same case.
It's going to be a farm lane against Karthus.
As you can see. It's back and forth, press the Qs. fast bombs to the Skittles on the ground. A very early head down towards the bottom lane here.
Right, so again, the question was, would we see freezes? Both teams got deep lane wards. How would they end up playing this? Last game, Team Liquid was able to withstand a large wave hitting their turret by rotating 3 down there. Maybe they switch it up this game. Protect the Kog'Maw composition. Might want to get some turrets rolling early in the game. I'm not entirely sure what type of game plan they're going for, but they are very much split these maps. Team Liquid on this side, CLG down on the bottom side.
Mirroring it up. They'll get what they want. A freeze pretty much here by Double Lift in the bottom lane, where you can see a bit of a push by Piglet and Xpecial up there on the top side. Both junglers getting what they want along with top. You can see
there's no attempt to catch waves coming into turrets here. They're very much just trading turret damage. Let's see who can beat on these turrets faster. CLG started first, but Jan and Nunu, they need to get there. They need to finish up this jungle and get these turrets down, but I think it's just a turret trade.
Well, the Blood Boil is going to be a little bit quicker on that side, so we'll see who can react faster after this. Be a good chance to put down some more forward wards, as the early ones have already died out. Staying safe in the mid lane makes things easy for both teams here to get this done, so good job to both Phoenix and Link here in the early part of the game.
So, this is interesting.
What do you got?
Team Liquid can now bounce the wave off the turret. CLG is doing the same. Both teams did this properly, I think. What CLG did so well early on in the season is when they take the turret, they take it as their last minion dies, and then just like you would freeze a lane at the start of the game, you would let it in. You would freeze it there and let it bounce back. I wonder if that CS Piglet just took will unbounce the wave. I think so. Yeah, there's more minions now for Team Liquid. I didn't get a clean enough look to know if that was the difference or if the lane was already going to push back. But
looks like it already will go down with that siege approaching first and taking down those few casters in melee. So a slow push it will be towards the side of Team Liquid after that. And now approaching the bottom side of the lane, Quas will take up position against Zion Spartan. 4-1 CS. So they're going to try to get themselves built up a little bit. They had a rough early game.
It looks all right. The CLG's wave will be pushing. So that is what Team Liquid wants, because they want that wave to hit the turret so they can be able to farm it. Likewise on the other side, since they're just doing Lulu versus Vladimir, the lanes have now equalized after that quick early game where they really just did exactly the same thing. It was actually Team Liquid doing more of a CLG type thing that CLG used early in the season to beat up on teams with, but Team Liquid just copied it, and it worked out fine.
The simple mistake is what throws everything off. Kind of just putting more on the plate in the early game here. And the decisions were made correctly by both teams. We'll see how they can grow out of this. Looks like it will be that Triforce for Piglet. First item Phage coming out of the AD carries. Already some damage for Double Lift here, so he's got to watch. That's early damage from the caster Lucian in that AD position. You can see Piglet, he's the shield right away. Good pressure from CLG here in the top lane. May start to call dominate a little bit, which makes it even more dangerous. Make it a few 3v3s up here.
Well, they swap back into actually fighting each other, which is not normal, because CLG has no turret behind them, just like Quas has no turret behind them, making the CLG duo lane very vulnerable. Trading flashes there. Piglet more than ready for that because he saw Smithy on the ward. This gives Team Liquid a chance to get Dragon pressure or pressure on his Zion Spartan.
Yep. CLG knows they need to get a little bit more out of this, but they are actually left empty jungle here. Dominate has already taken it, moved to the bottom side. He's Raptored on this as well, so he knows he's clear. The ward below him does not see this, but this could take a while.
Yeah, 2 points in Consume, I will dominate. Has been known to actually max Consume first on Nunu to really just counter jungle and objective control. And, well, he's starting off the objective control. Finally, CLG sweeps that brush and says, oh, that's what's been happening.
We'll try again in a second. Watch it be warded. So he actually Dominate rushed a Sightstone as well before his item. So he gets to that Dragon, grabs it for his team as well with the safety of the vision he's able to create. He's off and running. He's not done yet.
Yep. Boop. I'm going to get some wards down. I mean, he knows that Xmithy has spent so long on the other side of the map. He's got free time now.
They just cleared a ward up there. Not going to be able to get chased down with the amount of Blood Boil he can use. So Xmithy now a little catching up to do. He's not super far behind, can still make a very good play on any of his lanes, but he needs to start doing some work. Okay, now it's going to start hurting.
This is getting a little greedy at this point because Xmithy could have rotated around. That's why Dominate is pulling this out as far as possible because he's expecting Sejuani to arrive at any moment, but he gets it.
I can't believe they don't know.
Now he knows.
CLG has that entire side of the jungle warded where he would be farming, and he hasn't been there for the last 2 or so minutes. So Xmithy, a little bit of an inkling, but not enough to get there in time.
I will Dominate with some stellar Nunu play right there.
That was great.
Early side stone for vision control, knowing his limits to Soul the Dragon at level 4 with just a Hunter's Machete, and then also having pretty good ward coverage down to know he can steal the blue.
Nunu is such a good fallback for Dominate. Not a champion that you usually see banned, and it is great fit for the Team Liquid composition and the style of play that they bring out.
And Team Liquid actually swaps back.
Just going to mention that as they start pressuring the bottom turret.
Well, basically their wave was pushed away from them, and Doublelift was just going to freeze it. So unless they were willing to incredibly extend with Xmithy camp in the lane, they had to swap back. This will punish Quas actually pretty heavily in that lane. I don't know how Quas is going to get farm now, but they're at least assuring farm on Kog'Maw. Again, this could set up to become a gold advantage for CLG because they have the better wave manipulation.
Quas hopefully still able to offer just that ultimate towards the late game without dying out too quick. He's down 20 CS right now. Has that Chalice. Zion Spartan is actually going back towards the bottom lane. I was going to say it'd be a tough challenge for the top lane, but that's held by Doublelift in the freeze right now, so he can farm it out. This looks like Quas is actually forced to be utility for the rest of the team now.
This is actually really bad for Team Liquid right now. Doublelift is getting so much easy farm, and
they're going to give him
Quas
blue.
is like relegated to double jungling or something.
Yeah, they gave him blue for the experience. Hopefully he can get Xmithy here. This would be a great pickup and a boost for Quas. They might be tunneling in a little too hard.
Yeah.
They can't gap close the wall.
9.5 minute double jungling time.
Yeah.
Looking at these teams and the way they distribute farm before the match, Team Liquid actually has Quas as the highest CS differential at 10 minutes based on the enemy top laner. But Zion Spartan wasn't far off on that. And CLG is generally better at that. They've snuck in behind him. This is how you want to freeze a wave.
See Doublelift in his favorite environment, farming alone. They tried to poach him out, and Zion Spartan as well. The cavalry arrives with the teleport. That will be down. Bottom lane could be pushed quite big here by Liquid, but a good save on Doublelift.
Yeah, Quas 2-level disadvantage on Zion Spartan because of all that's been happening, and he still doesn't have a safe place to farm.
He's not. He still needs quite a few minions to get the ult too. This could be bad. And level 6, Xmithy.
Quas, that's a lot of stuff that can hit him.
Ooh,
Goodbye.
this is going to be a dead Quas. So close to hitting level 6, what he was waiting for. Teleports up so he can present himself again, but just a little bit more going over to Chronologic Gaming.
Just too dangerous for Quas to be there. A 2-level of disadvantage. The wave was going to push eventually. Anyways, he just needed to have patience and wait for it to get to his turret. He was hoping that Xmithy wouldn't be there, but it's not a game of guessing. Use your wards, use your knowledge, and play safe, especially when you have that Kog'Maw getting the nice farm in the bottom lane.
It's that pressure. You know the team can't really help you. Things could go worse, so you want to get yourself pushed out, but it's just causing him to go down. Still on Lulu, still can get that ult later in the game. But with how much, though? When he can hit 6.
Still at 30 CS.
Very close. He just finally hit it. Yeah, still at 30 CS and still sitting only on half an item. Let's see.
And this is something that CLG does better than any other team. They get their 80 carry and their top laner ahead. Usually you have to make some type of trade-off. You're sacrificing one for the other.
Right.
Not in this case, though, because they were able to freeze that wave so well and then punish when it was about to unfreeze. Doublelift ahead, and Zion Spartan was at least plus 30 on Zion Spartan at 10 minutes.
Keeping an eye on the gold for Piglet here. He's very close to getting the last bit for that Sheen recipe. Would be a good spike in damage to have those two on the board with Phoenix as well. Maybe Dragon in a minute and a half could be something they get back onto this one. Already charged up, though. We see built up. Xmithy has his finalized item. A Rod of Ages as well for Link. About 1,000 gold over onto Doublelift.
Team Liquid will not have their power spike for Dragon. They need Nunu to still shop. Whoa, they're going hard on Zion Spartan, knowing he has no ultimate.
There's ults.
Quas, though.
He should still stay alive here. They could get Zion Spartan on this one as well. That was a very good shield Quas had, but you can see the level difference and the damage Spartan can do to Quas here. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Can he get one more glitter lance for the slow to continue the fight for him? It just misses off to the side. I don't know if he's going to be able to throw enough snowballs. On the bottom of the map, CLG takes to a full 3-man dive onto Piglet Special. The Monsoon goes off, and Xmithy is diving right back in head first. That's going to be a kill going over to Aframu. Xmithy with a great tank as they micro the damage in and out. And man, they had to tunnel in for Zion Spartan turret to turret there. On the top lane, Xmithy finally goes down, and what a scrap across the map.
Just weird. I mean, that's one of the things that happens when you put a lot of points in and consume early as Nunu with your gank chase. It isn't as good with low snowballs, but at least they get an assist onto Quas, and at least he can push a little bit. On the flip side, Piglet was denied a large amount of farm when he died. This game is completely dictated by minion waves. That's why every fight happens. It's literally just farm and farm denial.
Yep.
And Team Liquid barely keeping up once again. CLG clearly better at this game thus far.
See this one more time.
Yeah, notice the patience on Xmithy's Sejuani ultimate. He waits for the flash and then gets the stun off. Yeah. And patience from X Special as well, waiting the Sejuani ultimate up so he can then heal. That delays this dive. And Xmithy was doing a good job tanking the turret, but he hadn't thought about his exit strategy. He knew Corki was on his way, so he decided to execute and give the kill to Janna, which at the end of the day was smart.
Fortunately, Piglet got a few of that CS, but he missed the majority of that wave.
He got the passive CS. Once he died, he blew up on it.
Gotta do what you can. He's at 102 to 112. Doublelift has had all that free time in the top lane, so he hasn't gained too much by being by himself up there. Special gets a ward onto Dragon, and a slow collapse here from Team Liquid. Looks to be too slow, and this will be CLG's first Dragon of the game.
Pretty important CLG took that, because they needed to preempt the Trinity Force power spikes, and they did that. They did the turret dive.
That's a really good point, yeah. So you cannot have this yet.
Yep, absolutely. Corki finishes Trinity Force, Piglet not quite there yet. When they do get double Trinity Force, they'll be pretty strong for a while. It will also rely on I Will Dominate getting some magic resist for the team, because Karthus Vladimir is going to be a real terror in these team fights.
Yep. So not very many but Sej to really build armor here, so that could really work well for Piglet. Phoenix at this point in time in the game. That spike's going to sting just a little bit more. Wall goes down to give a little bit of breathing room here on the turret, and CLG doesn't have to worry about wave clear this game. They'll be all right with Link and blue buff at the turret. And Liquid's just trying to spread them out thin here and see if they can get a pick. They know they're stronger. They're walking around with power and numbers.
Yep.
Oh, look.
Look, somebody's split pushing. This is something he wasn't able to do last game. He got trapped in that 1-3-1 when CLG started split pushing. He couldn't get his own farm. This game, though, he's ahead of Piglet. He's got his Avarice Blade, so he's also stacking up gold that way. So far, he's earned an extra 200 because of that Avarice Blade. Not to be overstated, he'll be going for that Infinity Edge Ghost Blade build. But because of the pathing he took on that item, he won't really power spike for a while. He'll need both of those items before he's fully strong.
Maybe went for quick damage because they matched back up in that top lane right away, so wanted to be able to push Piglet out. Good safety there by him and Xpecial. We're able to keep it safe, just down a little bit in CS. Right now, he's still trying to piece together, only at 430 gold on that Triforce, so they're waiting a little bit. He's got a bottom wave to take to himself here. Doublelift just pushed it in. We'll see if Counter Logic Gaming can keep going.
Will be a problem. Quas has done a tremendous job keeping his farm up and not letting that advantage extend. But this will be counter gank. This is going to be disastrous for I Will Dominate, I think. Well, they got a lot of damage on Zion, though. Wow.
He gets the pool out right at the end. He knows it takes 20% of his HP, but he's still able to stay alive. Xpecial almost goes down. The Monsoon keeps him there, and now 400 HP back up. The Storm Shield isn't enough. The culling just on the backside. Xmithy picks that one up as he swings the flail around, and the Whimsy going on to dominate with Blood Boil is just too much. Can Piglet make a move here? Because top lane still getting a little bit of love from Phoenix. What are you doing, buddy? Goes in with the blue buff, has to flash and get himself out of there with his his own
man.
heal. They're still trying to save the turret, though. They're doing their damnedest. Boss Bomb goes out. Aframu knows he has to turn to dodge, but pays for it with his life. Phoenix flying into the fight, going to take down Xmithy as well with just a few more rockets. He's got the blue buff. This chase should be there, but it's going to take a little bit of time.
He's got to wait on the
Quas
cooldown.
just flash forward?
He's got 4 seconds on that missile cooldown.
Flash forward? I don't know. These guys, they just want the kills right now. They're going wild.
You can see the greed and the pressure weighing on both of these guys. Doublelift Flash healed at the end of that fight because he thought it would clean hills, but he needed that stuff for the escape. What ended up happening is CLG knew Doublelift couldn't escape, so they ended up tanking for him so he wouldn't go down. And it gave Phoenix 2 very important kills. Double Trinity Force now for Team Liquid. Maybe they have withstood this Vladimir a little bit, almost taking Zion Spartan down once again. And we're in for another great game.
Very nicely done. Really walking them into a trap on that one. 65-35 is the vote here. Liquid very much behind their team as they show up here in the playoffs. Said a lot of these guys have been on that big stage. Not to take that away from Chronologic Gaming as well, but keeping their composure is definitely keeping them in this game.
And it looks like Phoenix is doing a Shao here. So Trinity Force and then Luden's Echo probably. After that, I think the Leandries is the build that people have been doing. Just a mix of all kinds of damage, trying to spike as hard as possible on 3 to 4 items. And this is the Cogma versus Vladimir right here. Vlad doesn't have resistances right now. And
he says good day, sir.
Yeah, he said good day. And Zion Spartan ran away.
Oh, hugging the right side. Few too many abilities to get themselves out of that.
Split push battle here. Doublelift. And then the entire Team Liquid team. I feel like
hello
CLG
what
needs
a
more
rotation.
people here. Yep. It will probably be a turret trade.
You don't normally see a time when a team just
Quas actually
no one at
back.
the turret.
I don't think he can stop the turret though. Yeah,
almost gets him out.
Doublelift
very smart to only attack the turret. Quas was hoping to get a shot on him. And that bit of aggro here. Team Liquid's not done though. They do not back after the bottom turret. They know things need to be saved. Jobs need to be done. They all head to mid lane. Piglet comes back out, all finished up on his Zerks, as well as a bit of lifesteal. He can make sure these fights, as they go long, he'll be staying alive.
Yeah. All right, this has been a very close game. A lot of trading between split pushing. And Phoenix, whoa, greeting for those wraiths. Xmithy.
Uh-oh. Go!
Woo! Really nice try by Xmithy. If he would have collided with him mid Valkyrie, he would have stopped him from jumping over the wall there. Phoenix able to Valk out just barely. So things we need to track.
All right.
With Dragon coming up here. We need to track Link's positioning in team fights, whether or not he can get in there with the file. We also need to track the item progression overall. Locket of the Island Solari is huge for I Will Dominate. Deathcap and Ghostblade is huge for Doublelift because that's when they can kind of overtake from any power spikes. This Dragon right now, though, with double Trinity Force, I think is advantage Team Liquid.
Link's flash, exhaust are up. He can get himself into the fight. A good hit by Dominate. Defile goes down. Lay waste coming from Link here. Phoenix and the rest of the team on the backside able to just spit out the damage. And it looks like they just create a wall that can take down Counterlogic Gaming here. Link finally flashes in, but isn't enough. He's going to throw down the Requiem. I don't think it's enough to get a kill for himself, though. And actually, they do grab Dragon.
Yeah, they lose 3 for 2, but they get the Dragon because they were the ones starting it. A very close fight with a very slim advantage for Team Liquid during that. But, as we needed to watch, Link had spectacular positioning throughout that fight, especially the flash in at the end to zone CLG off the Dragon. Piglet has red buff, though.
That's going to be a dead Aframu. That's the last. Oh, flash. No. It doesn't heal you. We've all been there, and we've all done it.
Doesn't break auto attack projectiles, not since 2011. Gotta read the patch notes, man. This is a lot of pressure Team Liquid gets off that, though, because CLG took the Dragon.
Yeah.
While low. And there's a teleport. It never stops.
Oh, Piglet doesn't have much mana, but he's still an 80 carry, and he can still put out the DPS with the right clicks, and he is right-clicking his life up. He stays alive, though. I thought he was going down.
That's with just a Trinity Force on the low Kog'Maw right there. He's going to get a little bit stronger than that, Riv.
Yep.
I think CLG is in some serious trouble right now based on the strength of Piglet at this point in the game. He picked up a lot of kills in that fight. When Luden's Echo gets completed onto Phoenix, that's a big power spike. When Blade of the Ruined King gets completed onto Piglet, that may be the end of CLG. We'll have to see if they can kill Kog'Maw.
What do you transform into after a butterfly? Just don't know.
Monarch Kog'Maw. The ultimate from Xmithy whipped in that fight, straight through the middle of Team Liquid. If it had hit the squishies, maybe CLG could have taken that fight because it would have timed with the flanking of Zion Spartan's Vladimir. That didn't go quite right. Flashing that, perfect timing on Link. He also dodged the damage.
Yeah.
And then the ultimate wasn't quite enough. If that Xmithy ultimate landed, this could be a very different game, actually. But that's League of Legends for you. And I think Piglet completes his item here.
3, 1, and 2, he does.
Oh boy.
Blade of the Rune King for him, so even the health that Xmithy is going to be getting is just going to make him easier to take down in that sense as well. Righteous Glory for Sejuani.
Everything the Team Liquid wanted to complete is complete right now. Locket of the Iron Solar to try and deal with magic damage. Blade of the Rune King for Kog'Maw. And Moon's Echo for Poke.
Okay, they backed off.
Yeah, CLG, they have to start split pushing with Zion Spartan. They need to buy some time. Or they need to get Team Liquid running back and forth until they can land a 5-man Vladimir ultimate. But Team Liquid will do right to force CLG into spots here because they are so much stronger in team fights.
Commence the Juggernaut composition. Mikhail's Crucible is out as well to save Piglet or anybody who gets in a sticky situation. Maybe some HP for the Requiem coming down will save them there. So they're really doing a nice job at mitigating what they're facing now. This Triforce's Luden's Ghostblade finished, as we said. Quas as well. That Athene's gets picked up by him with a few changes it had. Dominate.
That's kind of a catch. Kog'Maw's not there.
Kind of a catch indeed. Wild Growth and Flash to get out. Phoenix hits the depth charge. They try to get away. Quas and him are bumped up on that one. And it looks like, the Faust Bomb damage. At least 800 to 900 across the 3 members of CLG. I don't know if they can still fight. Aframu did not want that to hit. The team was not ready. 30 seconds on the clock gives Team Liquid enough time now to take down Link. Requiem is up, but I don't know if it'll be used. It will actually. He doesn't want them to move on. And that's going to be the kill coming in onto Xpecial. Do they keep going? Quas with the Whimsy-on. They are not able to get over to Xmithy. These fights are going on forever.
Yeah, long fights here, but CLG started that 4v5 without the Kog'Maw that is getting tanky off of the shields. Just, if CLG doesn't win that fight, I don't think they're going to win a fight in this game. They're down 4 kills now. They're losing more turret pressure after not converting on a pretty good catch on I Will Dominate there. This is going to be really tricky for CLG. They have to get catches onto squishy targets. Not a catch onto the tank will not do. They have to catch a squishy.
Also has that Locket. Sightstone was his first item on top of his just getting tanky in general. And he's already got a Warden's Mail. So Dominate stays alive through that one to help the team out a little bit. We'll see what can continue to happen here as CLG cleans up the waves that they have not tended to just yet. We'll see this fight one more time.
So they get the Karthus wall down, and then the flank around from Xmithy is great.
Specialist flash.
Everyone has to bail out. Kog'Maw was farming the top lane, so it's perfect.
What a Gale.
Yeah, great Gale by Xpecial. And then watch the poke from Phoenix as they're chasing down here. No one finishes off I Will Dominate. And then the missile from the Faust Bomb. They have people on CLG down at kind of half health. Enter Kog'Maw, and the fight gets real interesting. Aframu does go in when maybe they should have been disengaging. At that point, Piglet can easily chase down, but Phoenix gets a little over-aggressive, right? He's not an 80 carry anymore. He's a poke bot. So when he gets point-blank range to double, if he's going to lose that fight, it's the only thing that kept it close.
That's his job. Doublelift does that for a reason. Comes up with a good kill there. The gold lead now in favor of Team Liquid, but this is the same exact gold lead we saw CLG have previously that Team Liquid was able to come back from. It all took one jungle fight, and it could still happen for CLG. That Sejuani lockdown. They get a good wall.
Threat and Baron. They have the pink ward inside.
Team Liquid's trying to put their foot down here and make CLG walk to the beat of their drum. This could be big if they group up for Xmithy and he hits the right ultimate.
Watch for the grouping. That's the thing. Xmithy ultimate, Vladimir ultimate, Karthus walking in. The flash is back up onto Link right now. Even though that last fight looked very favorable for Team Liquid based on the result of kind of winning a 4v5. The game is still dynamic. Last Whisper is completed onto Doublelift, which is huge for cutting through I Will Dominate if he gets zoned out from him. But they cannot take poke like that. Zion Spartan almost half health just from a few missiles. And does the Nunu train begin? CLG on the run.
Piglet is so big now with that Zeal in his inventory. Dominate gets off a nice absolute zero. Big enough to throw CLG backwards. This could actually be a penta if he wants it, but the second kill goes to Phoenix. It's still going to be quite a skirmish here between Liquid and CLG, but it looks like Team Liquid has called the right cards and pulled all the right numbers as they almost ace Counterlogic Gaming in the mid lane.
The bomb that is Piglet is going off right now. 3 kills because he was so well protected in that fight. When Link tried to flash in after the fight was going wrong for CLG, X Special had the perfect monsoon.
Yeah.
Now Quas can teleport in. This is Baron.
Locking this down 27.5 minutes in. Team Liquid show up for this quarterfinals already. First game to them, they were made to come back. And I think this time is a little bit of what Freak was talking about on the desk. He wanted to see Team Liquid kind of manifest their own initiations and not work off of the mistakes of a team. And they've worked this one out pretty well for themselves.
CLG, I said this was going to be a snowbally game coming in, but that's because CLG does not have the tools to deal once Team Liquid gets farmed on the Kog'Maw. Unless they can close in on the damage dealers, they're not doing anything. They close in on the tank, which honestly I thought was going to be protected, but once they did that, look at the damage that comes in from Team Liquid. The missiles, X Special, Vladimir ult point blank, everything else, Karthus ult, but he is too well shielded. I wonder if CLG can even take this. Team Liquid with Baron coming in.
So much pressure, they have to look for the fight. Very much focused on the Dragon. Smithy can get out the back. This should be the communication. Oh, he goes right into Quas. Very nicely cutting off the choke there. Phoenix picks up the kill. They do get Dragon, but they pay for it with the life of their jungler.
Team Liquid starting to look so well coordinated. Where has this team been all season? They've only looked like this with Keep as an AD carry.
Right.
Everyone was expecting it to happen. They were expecting it to be better with Piglet. What about some great team fighting mechanics and world championship pedigree adding to the team that knows how to run protection strategies? Well, this protection strategy is working. Baron, they're down dragons, but they get the inhibitor.
And it's something that they shied away from with Piglet as well. It's not the dynamic that they wanted, but now kind of cradling that and taking it under their wing, it's working for them very well. Here, even kind of changing up the strategy game to game, and we're still seeing Team Liquid have great teamwork.
Yeah. I mean, Piglet's going to be melting some people real soon. Full attack speed, the AP Lulu, the Janna, the Blood Boil.
All you need now is to bring back Green Elixir. You're good.
Hits a couple of hits, and someone is dead. He's at 2.3 attacks per second.
Only 0.2 more.
When he has Blood Boil on. That's with 1 point in Nunu's Blood Boil. So honestly, he doesn't need to build another attack speed on him. He is attack speed capped right now.
Infinity Edge, please, and thank you. Oh, wow, he just chunked Smithy there. That's 2.5 shots, a living artillery as well. And look how confident he is back and forth, right in the front of Aframu's hook there, not even worrying about it. And he's taking up position on the right side now for a bit more safety from that front line. Piglet and Phoenix are just taking down these inhibitors immediately. Piglet gets hit there. They have the wild growth, the
Goodbye.
safety. The HP bars of Counterlogic Gaming are just getting wiped out right now as Team Liquid surgically removes them from the map. That's the inhibitor going down, number 2 on the game, as they have a mid-minion wave pouring into the base.
CLG cannot get close. They fell behind. They do not have the damage to break the ball of shields. And it may be a matter of time at this point, unless they can find a way to split up Team Liquid and execute the Kog'Maw without his allies. We saw right there the straight-up strength the Team Liquid has, slicing through CLG's tanks.
Possibly being able to set up something in the jungle here for CLG. They're getting wiped out so fast. Where do they even find an advantageous fight now?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not gonna.
There isn't
say it. They have no.
If they go to
place
the top
go.
turret, they just get surrounded in that as well. Team Liquid enters through the middle, goes to the top. They come in through the top. There is nowhere safe for CLG here.
They have to remain positive. They are in
That's
real
very
danger
true.
of going down 2-0 in the quarterfinals in a split where CLG was hoping to win and go to MSI. They were just looking at Team Liquid as an obstacle, not as the enemy here. That is one thing to do, you death ball. But we've seen this not start out well in the past. They do not overcommit on I Will Dominate.
Right. That was a good choice as well. They forced his flash there, so he is going to have to walk the absolute 0 in, but only little advantages. They're going to need a big one coming into this next fight. Now down 6,000 gold. It's going to be rough. Double lift At least getting the damage on the minion wave before they get to the turret. He
Oh,
knows he's got to be very, very careful. Voidooz doesn't come out for Piglet, but they do bring the fight in, almost baiting this one in that they can win as well. Piglet, Quas, and Phoenix on the back line offering up good damage. Tons of damage, if you will. And CLG, they hold that one off quite well. The last turret, their final standing point, breathes a little bit longer.
They hit Piglet real hard that fight. That was how CLG wants to execute team fights. If it was not for the disadvantage they are currently facing, they may have been able to wipe Team Liquid there. Piglet got a little greedy. He saw Doublelift.
Yep.
He wanted to kill him. And that ended up baiting him in a little bit to Aphromu's depth charge. Thank God for all the shields. Otherwise, Piglet would be very dead.
Almost seems impossible here for CLG to get the kills without having kind of a finisher burst damage. You have Quas to save people, and they're not going to fight until those windows of safety are up, until the shields, till the Monsoon come back up. Quas is already back up after being used to save Piglet in that fight, so they have a really nice window to work with in those fights. Zion, Spartan, and the rest of the team waiting on those ultimates, a little bit longer of a cooldown here, but we may just get a gap or a lull in the action.
That fight probably scared Team Liquid a little bit.
Right.
And it's because they went away from what had got them this far. Piglet was, well, it is good for the Kog'Maw to kind of frontline in the Juggermaw composition of shields, but he was too far forward, especially now that they had this wrinkle of the Ludens, Leandri's, Corki. They want to give Phoenix time to land some missiles first, and then they want CLG to commit to Piglet rather than Piglet committing to CLG. They didn't poke, Piglet committed to CLG, and even with all that, CLG still didn't win the fight. Team Liquid, as long as they play smart, will have this.
Will Dominate go down this time? That's that flash being down. Oh, he gets a full absolute zero. That just really holds the team in this choke point. The damage now. Voidooz slows 3 to 4, almost the entire team. This allows nice hits for Piglet to come in. Now diving in, Smithy throws the ultimate out. Doesn't get much. Double kill coming in for Piglet. Now across the wall, still doing damage as Phoenix. Piglet is going for Doublelift, and he takes him down with the help of the minions. Over the shoulder shot. No look from Phoenix. Takes down Zion, Spartan, and game 2 is quickly swept up by Team Liquid.
CLG goes to Team Liquid, and Team Liquid knocks him down. 10-1 on a Piglet, 7-1 on a Phoenix. Team Liquid up 2-0 in the series.
3 times in a row, Dominate was trying to be hooked, caught, or hit out by CLG in a catch position. He got out each time, got off an absolute zero each time, and the team comes up with a win. Game 2 to Team Liquid.
Yeah, and in pretty quick fashion as well. 34 minutes there. And different team compositions both times for Team Liquid, even though both of them did focus around team fighting. Here, CLG tried to match the team fighting a little bit with the AoE team of Sejuani, Karthus, Vladimir.
Yeah.
But they could not kill the carries at the end of the day. They now need to win 3 games in a row to stay in the playoffs.
You know, you ask yourself, is it too much change? Are they trying too many different things? And while they would say, no, we've practiced this, and they're probably right, under this pressure, that becomes a very different scenario. It seems like these selections and the solutions they have right now just aren't working.
Talking immediately after the game on stage, they seem like they're in pretty good spirits. They know that they can come back from a 2-0. They have done it in the past against Curse Academy. But they're still in this position where they're down 2-0 against Team Liquid.
You're also facing a Team Liquid right now that has not shown this year, so how do you adapt immediately? It's almost just going to be you doing something. You can't say, all right, we'll ban this and play to their style. You play your own style at this point.
Yeah, what is CLG's style is the question they need to be able to answer.
Absolutely.
And they need to know how that interacts with Team Liquid's current team fighting style and how they can take that down. Currently, Doublelift on Lucian, 2 losses, but you can't just attribute it straight to the AD carry.
Right.
Link drew a Twisted Fate ban. His Karthus came out here in game 2. Zion Spartan, 2 consecutive games on Vladimir. This time, 142 CS up on his opponent Quas at the end of the game. Not enough. They need to find a way to make the whole team work together.
Quas is a very tricky person to read. He can carry the game on Fizz and then not be able to win it with the team, or he can be completely beaten and battered and still be usable in the team fights. Definitely a great mindset to have for a top laner, somewhere where you're left on an island sometimes forever, but he still keeps it and still keeps communication with the team. Definitely a solid point for them. CLG, like you were saying, wasting no time here to try and find a resolve to what is causing the bleeding in this best of 5. Possibly one more match.
Everyone with lots to say. Link, plenty to say right after the match. Now Scar has stepped in.
Yes.
Definitely talking about what went wrong in that game. Tricky, tricky match to highlight. They only have that limited amount of time in between these games, 15 to 20 minutes from the end of the Nexus falling before they're in that next game. They want to get their plan settled now. What is wrong? How do we fix it? Mid-series adaptation is what makes or breaks a lot of these teams. CLG's they have to come together. And Team Liquid, one more game. They've been here before. They have 3 tries.
One more game. Just got to keep the mentality. The pressure is growing for both teams. Right now, we're going to throw it over to the analyst desk to get their insights into that matchup.
Thank you, Riv. I want to roll with Jad's point about mid-series adaptation here because CLG's starting down 0-2. We've already hit on it.
Yeah.
Individual misplays. It cannot happen. And in this game, I saw it a lot more from McSmithy.
Yeah, it was really heartbreaking watching Smithy play in this game. The red side pick and ban was good. All right, you took Lulu. We got that Vlad we wanted so much. We got your Sejuani. All right, life's going to be good. But Smithy's Sejuani was heartbreaking. If we have the clip ready, actually, I'd like to pull it up. There's a series of really bad Sedge misplays. So first of all, here is the counter gank top lane. Zion baits it really beautifully. Roll the clip out. Here we go. Try number 1. All right, Team Liquid are chasing down. Naz is here. Sejuani's here. Let's turn it around. Whoa! 5.6 just nerfed the crap out of Smithy here, and they don't manage to get much out of it. And I think overall this fight ends up going well for Team Liquid. All right, Dragon fight. This is a big one. Squishy's clumped up. All right, let's go. Oh my God. Okay, well, their backline's not going to die anymore. And this is a fight that still was actually pretty close overall. The Karthus ult got like everyone to 10%. Okay, one more time. We catch out, we'll dominate. Hook him in. Cool. Look at that backline. They're all right there. Oh my God. Again, and just over and over and over, the Glacial Prison has like the weakest walls ever, and everyone breaks out of it in a quarter second.
And given the fact that these fights were so close, is what makes it heartbreaking, because if any of those ult lands, turns the fight.
Yeah.
Right. And you were talking about this at the very beginning, about strategic depth. What kind of styles can teams play? What can these guys all do? Game 1, CLG brings a split push comp. Game 2, first ban TF. Get off that style, CLG. CLG says, okay, here's a team fight comp. They're good at that too. Strategically, CLG was fine, but individual misplays, right? Like this is what's happening is when it comes down to game time, it's how you actually play the game. I think CLG are still strategically in the right place. Their comps are still sound, but it's players on game day not performing how they should.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where when you talk about a player who's really good, but then in the moment they can't step up. And I want to talk about the flip of that, because Phoenix.
Yeah.
Everybody's been talking about him being the best player in scrims, and then he doesn't show up. And he's actually shown up a ton today. His performances on both Urgot and Corki were really good, and they're both different. Like, Corki's a little different build now than what we've been seeing before. So the 5-6 patch has been treating him really well, and he's actually having kind of his debut performance here in the LCS.
Yeah, and you're talking about players showing up in game day. Quas as well, right? He also played a big Rumble top lane. That went great. Switches over to Lulu here to play Protect the Piglet, and he does just fine there. Down in CS, it doesn't matter. He's playing the game very well. Yeah, it doesn't matter what your CS is on Lulu. As long as you have a death cap, you're 100% the full champion. And Quas playing a different style. Team Liquid, of course, as well. They're playing a different style. It's still a team fight comp, but a very different version of that. And they're doing very well. Again, talking about who shows up on game day. All of Team Liquid shows up on game day. Finally, Team Liquid, your team is here. Oh my God, they're playing well. And I mean, those guys can all be super happy. Well, remember, I mean, 4th place is still, they have to win this to get 4th place. That jinx never going to be broken.
All right, so I want to touch on 2 things. The first being exactly the sentiment that you're emoting here, Freak, which is where has this Team Liquid been all season? And what changed, right? I mean, like, I want to know the answer. What changed here that all of a sudden, it's not just a performance thing, right? They are coming in with a very clear idea here. And one thing I can say about this game is they made one of the adjustments we said, which was putting themselves in a position to take a lead, as opposed to being handed it.
Yeah, I think they played very remarkably well, despite having a team full of supports, right? Like, who has gank assistance on a team full of Lulu, Nunu, Corki, Kog'Maw, and Janna? Literally no one. And then they still manage to make the plays, right? Top lane turrets go down. Okay, well, Lulu Nunu will chase you down the lane. How about that? Okay, sure, that'll work. Yeah, go for it, Team Liquid. Like, this is starting to work, and they're setting up for Dragon, they're setting up for objectives, and they're getting these team fights, and the Ludens Corky pokes going, the Kog'Maw triple shield plus Blood Boil's working. Like, all right, like, Team Liquid are finding ways to play more or less aggressively, right? Pushing the pressure with their composition. And it's good to see them do this.
Yeah, and I think Dominate did a really good job of stepping up this game. He got the Sightstone very early on and then immediately went into their jungle and took the blue buff away from Link. So there's even more pressure on that mid laner. The Sightstone gave him the wards, but this is what I really like about it, is talked about how Dom's an emotional player, and you can see how happy he was afterwards to win that game. He's kind of snowbally in his attitude. Right? He's going to win you these games. He's going to make aggressive plays like that if he's in the right mindset. And I like that the fact that he's not gaming himself, being like, man, this game is so important, I should not go for these aggressive moves.
Right.
He covers his ass and he wards up, and then he's able to make those moves 100% risk averse. Like, he's just like, oh, that's not actually a risk. So let's take it.
It's a guaranteed fight. Let's take it.
I absolutely love that. And then walking up, and it looked like he was trying to get caught there at the end of the game. To start the fights. It sounds really strange, but he was just face-checking stuff intentionally, not knowing where they are, because he's just so tanky, and fighting them in a choke where they can't really get to that backline and layer their AoEs is a little advantageous to them in those corridors.
Yep.
All right, all this being said, though, we did see examples of how CLG can win those team fights if they just step up individually ever so slightly. That game could have gone the other direction.
There's so many little things I could point out. Missing skill shots. One thing I actually really want to keep harping on is I don't like Doublelift's style of playing champions. He's a very good player, but he just keeps forsaking critical strike. It just seems like that's how he plays as a player. He just doesn't like crit. But like, if he gets a Phantom Dancer, his team can finally kill this Nunu, right? Like, it's an AoE mage top lane, AoE mage mid lane. Those aren't going to get through that big tank in the front line. Phantom Dancer Lucian, or even Static Shield Lucian, can actually get a Blade of the Ruin King third. You can actually go do those kinds of things. Actually, similarly for Link, Forsaked, whatever that past tense is. Void Staff, he started going on Zhonya's, realized too late. Like, so many fights had people incredibly low, where you get a slightly higher damage, slightly greedier build from CLG, and those champions actually die. And a couple of things going that way, and that game also opens up.
All right, well, Team Liquid are just one game away from securing a semi-final spot, and we'll see if they can get it done in Game 3 against CLG, who hopefully will be making some adjustments to keep that series moving. Stay with us.
Alright, I want you guys to forget about last game. It's reset, it's 0-0. All I want to know is how does Lulu do into Vlad?
CLG takes to a full three-man dive on the Piglinic special. The Monsoon goes off, and Smithy is diving right back in head first.
Corky's coming. That's okay. Corky's coming, guys, okay? He's right here. I'm ulting. Corky's there.
And it looks like they just create a wall that can take down Counter Logic Gaming. Your Link finally flashes in, but is it enough?
I can ult you.
Double it!
I'm ulting.
Hey, double with the boy.
Oh!
Now across the wall, still doing damage as Phoenix. Piglet is going for double lift, and he takes him down with the help of the minions.
And the team comes up with a win. Game 2 for Team Liquid.